Hi guys, how are you?
Hi,
Hi,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Hi. So to start, I wanted to ask you guys when you're playing sisters, and it is so important to kind of have the connection and the emotional baggage that comes with family come to life so vividly right out the gate. What for you guys was the most important part about getting the dynamic of these sisters correct so that the audience knows exactly who they all are?
I would say that where to
We are
start?
also excited to answer that one.
Yeah.
The edge of our seat.
I think one of the things that the sisters are admired and known for are their humor that they all share together. And I think when you're playing six characters from the one family, you want to recreate that essence of it being authentic through the humor. And I think we all got on immediately at the read through when we saw each other for the first time.
We did. It was magical.
And then we spent 1 week together rehearsing, luckily enough. And that's when, we all got quite close, which hopefully translates.
Yeah, completely. I think that comes across, hopefully. And it wasn't a hardship, It never felt forced. Those emotions never felt kind of tricky to get to because it was just naturally already there and established from the onset.
Well, and you guys are also, I'm gonna get back to more actory questions because that's what I like always talking about is the process. But I do want to ask when you guys are telling a story that is a true story, and it is one that people in Britain know these sisters. I did not know them prior to this. So it was an introduction for me and will be for other American audience members. What for you guys is your process when you're doing something that is historical? Are you people who go and you research as much as possible, or do you stay true to what is written and the truth that is there?
Well, I think actually because Sarah Williams did so much research, the truth was in the script, so it didn't necessarily feel like it was a departure to stay truthful and deliver what was in the script. And we would have discussions about, for example, how much Diana loved her children, and we really wanted to get that into the story and add to the complexity of this woman who could be perceived as just being someone who can cut ties and leave relationships and quite selfish, quite self-centered. And actually, there was this dichotomy of she was also an incredible mother who loved her children, and so we wanted to really embrace the complexities of these women. But I mean,
I would say, but also because of the amount of documentation on them, I think it would be hard to ignore that. And I think it's such like a privilege to have that at our fingertips that I think when that is possible as an actor, and I don't know if you guys agree, it would just be like silly not to just delve into that and go, oh my God, because it's quite rare. It is quite rare. And they did document so much. I mean, there are books about 900 pages long on just letters that they would send each other. And that's probably, I would say that's probably only a quarter of what they actually wrote. So as an actor, it's an absolute honor to just go off and do your research and absolutely just get down to business about what these people were and what they did.
And I think that makes the performances so nuanced because you might be talking about one thing, but because you've done so much research, you know that your character feels something else about that. And it can be part of the subtext because there isn't necessarily time to delve into it and talk about it because the pace of the show is so quick. But as an actor, that's your truth. And so I think that lends itself to all of the performances.
I 100% agree. And I wanted to ask you guys too, costumes obviously help an actor a lot, especially with a period piece because they fit differently on your body than clothes that you would normally wear. With something like this that, fashion and how they look is kind of different for each one of these sisters and it's important to them. How much did that help you guys and how much of a say did you get into what you thought that she would be wearing at some time or how she would wear something that maybe would be different than her sister would wear it or something like that?
I think Claire did a phenomenal job, our costume designer.
And Esther.
The dressmaker. They went above and beyond and totally, as you say, the sisters are so uniquely drawn because of their outfits. And I think for Diana, it was always about being put together and polished, and she really would think about her appearance, even though Diana herself, she didn't care about what was fashionable, but she just wore the best clothes. Like there's this story that she went to Paris and just went to all the designer shops and just bought everything, and then that was what she would wear for the season. And because she actually did have a lot of money, whereas the other girls had they were
Very
house
little.
rich, right?
Very little, yeah.
So yes, I think but they weren't particularly comfortable. I mean, there was a lot of undergarments going on and a lot of
Yeah.
I needed help to go to the bathroom. So I feel like I'm glad that we've left a lot of those looks in the 30s.
Yeah.
And for a last thing I wanted to ask you guys, I tend to ask this question just because it is how I went to acting school and it's how I used to do stuff. But I think music is so important for characters, but I also think when you're doing a period piece, it can really help. Did music play a part in your guys' process? And if so, were there specific songs that you were like, this is my character through and through, and just kept listening to it?
Yeah.
We actually, our director Joss, he created both Bessie and Joss created a Mitford playlist on Spotify for us all to sort of, listen to the music and go into that time. For Unity, I listened to a lot of actually. I listened to Cole Porter, who was an artist from that time. That was obviously in like the pop jazz culture. And then I also, just to get sort of maybe into her psyche, I listened to a lot of movie soundtracks. Like there was this one track from The Theory of Everything that when I listened to it, it made me think of Unity's mind somehow. I don't know. But yeah, that magical thing, sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
and
Do you guys-
I would just add, oh, sorry, I don't want to trample. No, just say, Decca, I'd probably just say Communist Anthem, to be quite honest. She just loved it.
Just on repeat.
I know, just on repeat, but also not only that, there was a wonderful Desert Island Discs. Obviously, how incredible to have that. And it was just her love of these. So these songs would be on repeat. There's a wonderful song called Dancing Cheek to Cheek, but the Unity, Marv, Debo, and Decca went on a cruise ship once, and there was this man with a massive nose, and this song was playing while he was dancing to it, and Unity and Decca used to then sing Dancing Beat to Beat. So it's just things like that you just kind of loved and kind of just giggled at. But yeah.
Well, I love it. I love the series. I can't wait for everyone else to get to see it. And thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank
you
you
so much.
Thank you.
Bye.